Go.
Alright guys, welcome on back. We got ourselves another tutorial. This time is all about using the product Plasti Dip. This is all about sealing your armor. Reason you want to seal EVA Foam armor is because the surface of this armor, even though it is foam, and we have sealed like all of our edges and stuff using glue and whatnot, it's still very porous. So if I was to go and hit this with paint right now, all that foam would do is just suck in the paint. So it'd be very blotchy, very spotty, would not look good at all. So what Plasti Dip is it's a spray on rubber, used a lot of times in the automotive industry for tires and such. This here will cover this entire thing, seal in all those little pores, not only make it able so that it can be painted, but it will also help to lock in the rest of the shape. Even though this has been heat treated here and this has been shaped the way we want it to, it will kind of tighten everything down a little bit further. So you can see I've got a few pieces here that have already been Plasti Dipped, and oftentimes you may have little imperfections inside your suit. The Plasti Dip tends to cover up all those imperfections there and make it look very uniform, kind of an even coat all around. And it's essentially, this is your primer. You don't need to use a paint with a primer after you Plasti Dipped it. So anyway, you don't want to shake this about 2 minutes. I've already been shaking it for quite a while before we started filming here, so this is ready to go here. Also, if you're using Plasti Dip, if you don't have a respirator, I would recommend getting one. Now this is a respirator here, this is 3M, and these are chemical cans. This is what you'll want to use if you're using a rattle can like this. If you're using any kind of spray paint, you're going to want to use a respirator if you're indoors. If you're outdoors, inside a more ventilated area, you probably won't need it. You can probably get away with just a small dust mask. Should do just fine. You may not need it at all. However, I am painting inside right now because as you can see it's raining out behind me, so I'm going to use my chemical respirator here because the Plasti Dip does give off quite a bit of fumes and you don't want to breathe those in, especially in an enclosed environment. So, since you're not going to be able to hear me too well here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be picking up each piece of armor with the Plasti Dip. I can, if I want to, I could leave these pieces sitting on the floor like this and just come by and spray them down. However, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies with these pieces, so what I oftentimes will do is I will find a piece that I know isn't going to get any. As with these ones here, I've made a little belt with 2 buckles here, which I will be doing a tutorial on to show you guys my own version of a belt which seams in the codpiece in the butt. But I'll hold on to a piece that isn't going to get any Plasti Dip, and I'll use that as my kind of leverage spot, so I can hit all the angles I want to on that. And then I'll set it down with none of the Plasti Dipped areas making contact with the floor here. So I'd do the same thing. I'd find a spot here, like I'd probably do the bottom first, coat this area first, set the bottom down without Plasti Dipping it, maybe come back to another coat, and then I would flip it over, hit the bottom, 1 coat, let it dry, hit it again, 1 more coat. With Plasti Dip, you're going to want to do at least 2 coats minimum. The first coat is your heavy coat. Okay, so with a full suit of armor, expect to use 3 to 4 cans of Plasti Dip for an entire suit of armor. Like my size, I'm 6'2", you'll want at least 3 to 4 cans. As I said, the first coat is the heavy coat because you want it to seal everything in. The second coat is more or less to kind of just touch up any spots that you didn't quite get really good the first time. So you're going to see me go pretty heavy on here. I'm going to do some sweeping motions, and then I'm going to do some full-on just getting it in there motions as well. The key is with Plasti Dip is to keep your arm moving. Also, if you come back to spray using the can of Plasti Dip that you've been using before, make sure you bring that can inside with you. If it gets too hot, it's not going to want to function right. If it gets too cold, it's going to shoot out in globs, and it's going to leave beads all over your suit of armor, which you don't want. So again, make sure and shake it well, and make sure that it doesn't get clogged on the front of it. You can pick off the little clog if it does get there. Anyway, since you won't be able to hear me, here we go.
Okay, I'm going to make some sweeping motions first, just so I can kind of see how thick it's going on. You can see it right away. Just buy the black stuff. Don't buy white or red. spray from about 6 inches away, maybe 8, depending on how heavy a coat you're using. Get every visible surface. And also, wear yourself some gloves.
It stinks.
Yes, it does. It has a very kind of sweet odor, which isn't the most pleasant.
Now, as you can see, I got that inside every single little available nook and cranny. Any kind of visible surface or surface that's going to be making contact with anything that's going to be getting painted, make sure it's all completely covered with Plasti Dip. As I said, the first coat you do is your heavy coat. The second one is to hit little spots you miss. Like I missed a little spot right there. My second coat, I'll be coming back through to hit that. This stuff is, you can touch this after about 30 minutes, so I set my timer for 30 minutes. I'll come back out, I'll hit another coat over this entire piece again, and that will be enough for an EVA Foam suit of armor to seal it in fully and get it ready for paint. So, real simple, guys. This stuff, fairly cheap. You can find it at any hardware store. You can find it at Walmart. Get Plasti Dip. As I said before, you probably couldn't hear me, but go for the black cap. Don't go red, don't go white. Reason for it being is black you can see a whole lot better, especially on your EVA Foam, and you'll be able to see your coverage a little bit easier. But yeah, again, that locks in the shape, makes it so your suit of armor can take paint. But anyway, guys, check in next time. We're going to be doing a painting tutorial. We're going to be going over the base coat of paint first, and I'm going to be talking to you about the difference between Rolon versus Rust-Oleum paints. So guys, take care. Drop a comment below, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.